means an eponym is a word that is derived from a person or any place which has a historical significance. If you find out root of any particular word, the origin or say etymology of the word, you will find out a historical context related to that particular word. You will find out a person or a place. Those are called eponyms. Okay, so those words we will see today. If possible, we will discuss 10 words. We will also discuss the history, the context behind how this word was coined, came into existence, into language. And these words are very significant because they are used in day-to-day English language today. As far as examination is concerned, you will be asked not historical context but the meaning of that particular word. After all, meaning is matter to us. So as far as homonyms is concerned and these eponyms in examination prepare only meanings of those words. You will have question like what does the word braggadocio means? What is braggadocio means? If you will have the four options A B C D. Three options will be wrong and one will be correct. It will be synonym or the meaning of that particular word that you will have to find it. So read them. We will total prepare or discuss 30 eponyms, 10 each lecture. So maybe in the next three classes we will discuss 30 eponyms and homonyms you have already. Now let us discuss eponyms. I hope you have understood. Now first word is the Bowdlerize. Bowdlerize is the word used in the written in written language. But what does it mean? It has come from the person name called Thomas Bowdler. Thomas Bowdler was publisher in the during the 17th century. He died in the 1825. What he had done, he had published Shakespeare's edition. Shakespeare's he had published edition which includes the Shakespeare's work. But something new, what he had done was in that edition that he had omitted some words from original play works of the Shakespeare. So what he had done, what types of words that you cannot read aloud in the family. That means that abusive words, unsuitable words that were removed by this Thomas Bowdler in his edition, which he published in the 1818. And from that time onward, this word came into uh, language, that is Bowdlerized. So Bowdlerized means expurgation. You have to remember the meaning expurgation, and expurgation means what? To remove unnecessary, unsuitable, or abusive words or parts from book or from the movie. Expurgate. So what is the meaning? To have expurgate or rewrite a document. So you rewrite the original document. You make some changes in the original manuscript or original text. To clean something by removing offensive words or censoring words. Words which should not be, you know, should be published either morally or if they are provoking, offensive, abusive. So to remove words or parts from a book or play or from film that are considered to be unsuitable or offensive, that is called expurgation or it is called Bowdlerize. The Bowdlerize word has come from the Thomas Bowdler, therefore it is eponym. Now let us how to use this word in the sentence. We have examples. The version of the play that I saw had been horribly Bowdlerized. Okay, so the version I saw was Bowdlerized, means that few inessential, offensive, or something abusive was removed from that play. Censor board Bowdlerized some of the parts of the movie. So what had done? Right. What had been done by the censor board? Censor board removed some parts of the movie. So that is Bowdlerized. To remove unsuitable, offensive, abusive words or parts from the textbook, from the movie or any play. That is Bowdlerized. So that is its meaning, expurgation, rewriting the document or text. Second word is the boycott. You might have heard this, or you might have come across reading newspaper or watching news channels. Now boycott means what? This has come from the person Charles C. Boycott. Now who was he? He was an Irish land agent, and he was for absentee landlord. One landlord who was absent, and in his absentia he was working. The boycott, Charles Boycott. Now, in the 1880, Irish land reforms took place. And in that reform, he did not take part. He was not agree with the reforms. So he was shunned by the members. Now, shunned means he was thrown out. He was exiled. He was banished. He was ostracized of the party who were supporting the reforms. So people who were supporting, who were in the support, in the favor of the reforms, they excluded the Charles Boycott. They refused him, and then they worked with them, denied him servant, no postal service, no access to store. He was denied everything. He was refused to have any servant, in postal service or access to store. So that is boycott, means to refuse to buy any product or to take part in activity, event, or to attend any meeting. That is boycott. For example, we boycott Chinese products today. At present, looking at the condition prevailing, what do? We boycott. Means we refuse to purchase, buy products made in China. So meaning is to refuse to buy product or take part in an activity as a way of expressing strong disapproval. It is to showing your opposition, your disapproval, your disagreement, and as a protest. When you boycott, you are showing your protest against something. Example, people were urged to boycott the country's products. Okay, it is any country's products, for example. People were urged to boycott the Chinese products. The union called its members to boycott the meeting. Union called the members to not to attend the meeting. That is boycott. So this word has come from the Charles Boycott. He was the land agent in the Ireland who did not believe in the land reforms which took place in the 1880, and therefore he was exiled, he was banished, he was shunned, he was ostracized, and he was refused to have any servants or postal service or access to store. So from that time onward, this word has come to in the language, and it is used in day-to-day life today. So please all note down these words. You can take screenshot. All words are very important. How they are coined. Third word we will discuss today is braggadocio. Braggadocio. Now bragging, bragging means boasting. Okay. But how this word has come into English? Bragging means brag, B-R-A-G. Bragging, G is double, so it is boasting. When you express your proud, you say people how talented you are, how important you are, how great you are. That is boasting. Braggadocio was character in a play, in an epic, sorry, not the play, but epic, long epic, written by Edmund Spenser. The title of that epic is The Fairy Queen. During Elizabethan I, today ruler of England is Elizabeth II. But when there was Elizabeth I in the Renaissance period in England, at that time there was one great poet whose name was Edmund Spenser, who has written many great works. He has written one very long fairy queen epic, which was devoted to the queen, in which there is one character whose name was Braggadocio, whose characteristic was that he used to boast a lot, the vain and the proud character, and futility. He would always, talk about his talent and great, but in fact, in reality, he was not that much talented. So, Braggadocio boastful to the extreme and constantly bragging about how great he was, how great he was. So, which means that great confidence that someone expresses in their own abilities and qualities. Reality, you may not have the qualities, but you keep boasting. That is called braggadocio. In example, things will become clear. When my husband's braggadocio gets to be too much for me, I tell him to stop making up stories. મારા હસબન્ડ પછી વધારે બોસ્ટિંગ કરવા લાગે braggadocio, પછી મને શું કહી દઉં, હવે સ્ટોરી બનાવવાનું બંધ કરો. Since Alan was afraid to fight, he used his braggadocio to convince his rival, his opponent, that he was an unbeatable guy. Unbeatable means indefatigable, invincible, unconquerable. So that means that what he said to his rival, in fact, he was afraid. બરાબર, એની સાથે ફાઇટિંગ કરતા ડર લાગે છે, પણ એને શું કન્વિન્સ કરે છે કે I am unbeatable guy, unconquerable guy. So that is boasting, but in reality he was frightened, he was timid, trepid, he was not intrepid. So that is braggadocio. This has come from the character in the Fairy Queen, which means to boast. Okay. Next word is Byzantine. Byzantine. This is also a very common word in English language. Sailing to Byzantine. Byzantine is not any name of a person, it is a name of a place. In ancient time there was one empire. The empire naam hatu Byzantine Empire. It is now in the Turkey, Istanbul. So it is in the Turkey, Istanbul. So it has come from the place name. The word Byzantine is not derived from a person's name, but from Byzantium, an ancient city. Now it is in the Istanbul, Turkey, and that was a part of Byzantine Empire. Now what does it mean? The meaning of the word is it is complicated, something which is difficult to understand. It's complicated, complex, labyrinth. Something which is labyrinth, which is very difficult to comprehend. That means Byzantine. So it is an adjective. I read the book, but it was very Byzantine that I could not understand anything. It's difficult to understand because the plot was revealed in a Byzantine manner. It was difficult to understand in a complex manner. Byzantine manner means in a complicated manner. Lecture was delivered in a complicated manner that I could not understand. I was totally confused after listening to the Byzantine recording. What type of recording it was? It was very difficult. It was very complicated. It was complex that I did not understand. So Byzantine means something which is very complicated, something which is very difficult to understand. This has come from the place in the Istanbul, Turkey. Now, chauvinist, you might have heard this word. This is also again very common word, chauvinist. It has a positive tone. Chauvinist means this has come from the one person who was soldier in the Napoleon army, whose name was Nicholas Chauvin. And this Nicholas Chauvin was very dedicated in his profession. He was proud of being soldier, and he only knew his duty, nothing else. For him, only his duty matters. So 100% complete, perfect devotion he had he was the soldier in the Napoleon's army. and he was famous for his fanatical devotion to the emperor. He was devoted to his wife. તો એવા લોકોને આપણે શું કહીએ? ચોવિનિસ્ટ, કે જેને કોઈ રિલિજિયસમાં ફેથ હોય, કન્ટ્રી પ્રત્યે, કોઈ વ્યક્તિના ફોલોવર હોય, કોઈ આઈડિયોલોજીના ફોલોવર હોય, અને એના સિવાય એને બીજું કંઈ દેખાતું ન હોય, દેટ ઇઝ ચોવિનિસ્ટ. Very passionate, absolute, only single devotion to a cause, believing or showing an unreasonable belief that your own country or race, બરાબર, કાં તો તમારા રેસ ઉપર, કન્ટ્રી ઉપર, and you think that this is the only best and important. Excessive, nationalism. You are so much obsessed about something. That is chauvinist. For example, the crowd was enthusiastically singing chauvinistic patriotic songs. Chauvinistic patriotic means passion for the nation, patriotism. Male chauvinism also, but okay, there is a mistake with the second example. Consider only first one. So the crowd was enthusiastically singing chauvinistic patriotic. So chauvinist means it is also an adjective. It is used for a person who is very much passionate about something. For example, one is follower of Gandhian ideology, one may be follower of the Marxist ideology, one may be follower of sociology or any religion, or may have proud on his own country. These people are considered chauvinist, or that type of attitude is called chauvinistic. This word has come from the Nicholas Chauvin, who was the soldier of Napoleon's army. Napoleon wanted to defeat Britishers, but as you know, Britain always stood unconquerable. Spain made an attempt, failed. Then France made an attempt in 1815. Napoleon was defeated by the Britain. Even in the 1940, Hitler, Germany, made an attempt to defeat the England, the Britain, but 3 of them failed because of the English Channel. There is a channel of water that prevented these 3 countries from conquering invading the England. So chauvinist means a strong belief in something, passion for something. That is. Next word, Draconian. Draconian, very interesting word. This is also come from the person Draco. In 7th century BCE, there was one king in the Athens. Athens is the city in the Greece. He was a Greek king and lawgiver, but his laws were very harsh, very severe, very cruel. So he is known for his harsh laws and enforcements. Like you can see current Saudi Arabia and North Korea, if you commit any mistake and you are found guilty, then you will be severely given punishment beyond your unbearable, unsufferable. You would think of killing yourself, suicide, before you embark that punishment provided by the laws of the government. Draconian laws, the laws which are, or actions which are very severe, extremely severe, go further than what is right or necessary. More than enough, more than necessary. That kind of punishment is called draconian punishment. He criticized the draconian measures taken by the police in the controlling the demonstrators. તો પ્રોટેસ્ટર્સ હોય, ડેમોન્સ્ટ્રેટર્સ, બરાબર, પોતાનો વિરોધ પ્રદર્શન કરતા હોય, તો ત્યાં પોલીસ લોકોએ શું કર્યું એની સાથે? ડ્રેકોનિયન મેજર્સ, એટલે લોકોને જરૂર કરતા વધારે લાઠીચાર્જ કર્યો છે, કે જે કંઈ પણ અત્યાચાર થયો છે, that was more than necessary, means that was draconian measures. The Nazis destroyed the independence of the press. When Hitler became the president of the Germany, in 1933 he became the vice chancellor of the Germany, and then he became the president of the Germany. At that time we know the history. It was he who ignited the second World War. A very draconian type of leader he was. So what he had done, Nazi was his party, destroyed the independence of the press. by series of draconian laws. Draconian laws or draconian methods. So it is an adjective. So draconian means, in short, Draco was a king in the Athens, in the Greece. He was a Greek king who was famous for giving harsh laws and enforcement. So severe laws, more than necessary punishment, it is called draconian. Draconian laws, very severe laws and very bad. Epicure, it is very famous, you might know in this word, one who is very fond of taste of food, one who likes different varieties of food, delicious dishes. Epicurus was the Greek philosopher who taught that the highest form of good is pleasure and virtue. What is the meaning? So epicure is a person who takes particular pleasure in fine food and drink. It is not applied for the person who always constantly eats, no, but person who likes different taste, who is fond of taste of the food. For example, the food critic is an epicure who gets very happy when he eats a delicious meal. Epicure people are very happy when they are provided delicious meal. Taste. If it is tasteless, bland food, they will not get pleasure in it. They only love to eat, or they are only happy, pleasure. They feel only pleasure when they are given tasty food. And they are always in a search of tasty food. My uncle is an epicure who will travel across the country to find a tasty dish. Okay. So he will not no longer continue with the same taste. He needs different taste, and therefore he has to travel here and there, very to have a taste of different foods. So epicure is one who is fond of food, varieties of food. Galvanize, you might have heard in the newspaper very often, politicians generally galvanize people. Or a motivational speaker, what they do, galvanize the audience. બરોબર. એટલે કે ગેલ્વનાઇઝ કરવું એટલે કે એવું કોઈ ભાષણ કે તમને રવાડા ઊભા થઈ જાય. Exhorting. Now it is Luigi Galvani. He was Italian philologist, noted for his discovery that the muscles in the frog's legs contracted in an electric field. એવું કંઈક સંશોધન એના કરેલું. ઇલેક્ટ્રિક કરંટ કેવો લાગી જાય બધા આપણા જનરલી ગુજરાતમાં કહેવાય રવાડા ઊભા કરી દે એવું ભાષા. ઇલેક્ટ્રિક કરંટ લાગી જાય એવું from hair to the toe of the leg. So that means to arouse, motivate, inspire crowd or group to concerted action. Best example is the politicians. They give big talk speeches in order to galvanize, to win the favor of the people. So by holding a rally, the politicians hope to galvanize young people to vote. They expect vote, and therefore they give fake promises. And by listening promises, people are galvanized. They think that, oh, this politician is very good. Do you think the child's death will galvanize town residents to the point that they will stand up to drug dealers? એવી કોઈ એક્ટિવિટી, કોઈ ઇન્સિડન્ટ કે જેનાથી ખૂબ મોટો ફેરફાર થવાની શક્યતા? Something that puts pressure in your mind to enact, to take action, that is galvanized. To motivate it, to arouse a feeling, strong feeling, inspire somebody to do something. The politician, what they expect, they what? So they give so galvanized talk that the people then think to vote for him. So they are inspired, they are motivated to vote for their party. So that is galvanizing. The gerrymander has come from the America, Massachusetts, coined by American artist Gilbert Stuart. The word was coined by Gilbert Stuart, but the word has come from the person Elbridge Gerry. Now, Elbridge Gerry, you can see the time span 1744-1840. Who was he? He was a person in America and he was a governor of Massachusetts. Massachusetts. He was the governor. What he had done, he used to fix the elections. Election by cheating, election में fix कर देते थे. Gerrymander is pertaining to election. બરાબર શું કરતો ફેક બાઉન્ડ્રી છે કોઈ કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુઅન્સી હોય બરાબર કોઈ કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુઅન્સીમાં એના મેમ્બર કોઈ હોય નોમિનેટ કરવામાં આવ્યા હોય તો વોટિંગ સમયે during election time you would extend that boundary of a particular region by cheating secretly. બરાબર તો બાઉન્ડ્રી એક્સટેન્ડ થઈ જાય એટલે ત્યાંના બધા જે બીજા લોકો હોય એના વોટ જે છે આના ફેવરમાં આવી જાય. The number of voting people gets increased. So because of that intention, he used to do the fake boundary. So manipulating the boundaries of electoral constituency, the electoral region, so as to favor one party or large. So one party not favor more. So it is a cheating, an attempt to gerrymander the election result. Election results પોતાના ફેવરમાં કરવું cheating. This is, gerrymander is only applicable to elections, so that the politician hope to gerrymander the western states. Western state ને એમાં include કરી દેવા by fake boundary. So his party could control electoral regions. એના ઉપરથી આવ્યું છે Elbridge Gerry. He was the governor in the Massachusetts and he used to fix elections. Gerrymander. So a person who fixes cheatingly the elections or drawing fake boundaries is called gerrymander. After gerrymander, we have word like Hector. He was a fighter in the Greece. Hector in the Trojan War, he was the fighter, and he used to pester. Pester means harass or bully. Bully means terrorize and push around the other kings and people, as he had great pride of his strength. ટૂંકમાં હેક્ટર હતો એ બીજા કિંગ હતા બીજા એના થોડા લેસ ટેલેન્ટેડ એની એ દબાવણી કરતો એના લોકો લોકોને ટેરરાઇઝ કરતો. And he fought in the Trojan War. બરાબર Trojan War is a historical war. એના પર ઇલિયડ અને ઓડિસી આજે હોમરે ગ્રીકમાં પ્લે લખ્યા છે very ancient play ઇલિયડ and ઓડિસીમાં Trojan War નું એનું વર્ણન છે description. He portrayed the Trojan War. So meaning to talk and behave towards someone in a very loud and unpleasantly forceful way, especially in order to get them to act or think as you want. એટલે કે તમારાથી બીજા લોકોને ટૂંકમાં સતામણી કરવી, એવા લોકોને દબાવવા, ગુંડાગીરી કરવી, બરાબર તમે જે ઈચ્છો છો એમ એની પાસે કરાવો. ટૂંકમાં એ હતો ગુંડાગીરી. Don't hector my old friend. દબાવ નહીં કરવી. Trump has been hectoring his counterparts for the last 5 years. China is doing the same. That is happening. So Trump has been hectoring his counterparts for the last 5 years. Trump શું કરે છે અમેરિકાના counterpart શું કરે દબાવે છે. Terrorizing. Entry of it. That is Hector. Hector word has come from he was one fighter in the Greece, in the Trojan War. So friends, these are the 10 words we discussed today. Quickly, we will revise them. ફરીથી બધા વર્ડ્સને આપણે રિવાઇઝ કરી લઈએ અને you will get this PPT in the Google Classroom. બરાબર તો આજે બધા કાં તો તમે સ્ક્રીનશોટ લઈ લ્યો અને કાં તો તમે Google Classroom માં પણ અવેલેબલ છે. બરાબર ફરીથી ફટાફટ ક્વિકલી બોડલરાઇઝ એક વર્ડ આપણે જોયું. બોડલરાઇઝ ખાલી તમને મિનિંગ કહીશ હવે. થોમસ બોડલર. બોડલરાઇઝ એટલે કે કોઈ પ્લે, કોઈ બુક કે કોઈ મૂવીમાંથી અનસુટેબલ, ઓફેન્સિવ, અબ્યુઝિવ વર્ડ્સને રિમૂવ કરવા. દેટ ઇઝ બોડલરાઇઝ. બીજો એક વર્ડ છે ઇંગ્લિશમાં આના માટે, એક્સપર્ગેટ, એક્સપર્ગેશન. પછી આપણે જોયું સેકન્ડ વર્ડ બોયકોટ. બોયકોટ વેરી ઇઝી વર્ડ, ટુ રિફ્યુઝ ટુ બાય પ્રોડક્ટ્સ or to refuse to go attend party or to take into any event, any competition. That is boycott. Braggadocio means boast. Fairy queen my character is begging for boasting for. Byzantine means which is very complex, complicated, labyrinth. Byzantine is to a place, empire in the Istanbul, Turkey. Chauvinist એટલે કે એવા વ્યક્તિ કે જેને ખૂબ જે કંઈ પોતે પોતાના બિલીફ છે, પોતાનું કન્ટ્રી કે રિલિજન જેમાં માને છે એના પ્રત્યે સ્ટ્રોંગ પેશન હોવું, સ્ટ્રોંગ બિલીફ, એના સિવાય બીજું કશું કંઈ દેખાતું જ નથી. પ્રાયોરિટી ઇઝ ગિવન ટુ હિઝ પેશન. That is chauvinist. Draconian means severe punishment. Draconian laws which are very strict and severe. Very harsh. Epicure means one who is very fond of taste of food. Galvanize એટલે કે લોકોને એટ્રેક્ટ કરવા, મોટિવેટ કરવા, ઇન્સ્પાયર કરવા, બરાબર, by giving speeches or demonstrating something to be in the favor of those people. Gerrymander, cheating in the election. Okay. Fix the boundary of the constituency, that is gerrymander. Hector means cruel person who always terrorizes or harasses the other people. So Hector means gundagiri. Okay, બીજા લોકોને terrorize કરો, દબાવવાની કરો. So friends, here we end. These are the 10 most significant words in English language. Revise them, read them again, and make at least one sentence of your own by using these words. Okay, find out part of speech and also read the history, the historical context of the words. Here we end. You can write now roll number. Thank you. Have a nice day. If you have any query, question, you can ask. And otherwise, in the next session, we will discuss a few more 10 other eponyms. Barabar, type only one time. 19 number કોનો છે ભાઈ? 19. Only type one time your roll number. બરાબર, બે ત્રણ વખત લખવાની જરૂર નથી. ફટાફટ રોલ નંબર ટાઈપ કરો બધા. બરાબર, જેનાથી મિસ થઈ જાય છે એનો મતલબ એમ કે અટેન્ડ કરી રહ્યા નથી ક્લાસ. બરાબર. ના ભાઈ ના, આ દવે ઓમ દવે એનું છે 19 નંબર. એ 5 5 6 6 વખત લખે, 7 વખત એનો નંબર હોય એટલે પછી શું છે, બધી ડેટાને સિન્થેસાઇઝ કરવામાં થોડી પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય.